Thanks for listening to Gossip with Celebrity, brought to you by Celebrity.com. This week we talk about the election, the Kardashians, and the royals. Our user feedback is about the photos Chandra picks, and we end with our weekly feature, the comments of the week. The stories, photos, and tweets we talk about can be found at Celebrity.com/podcast under episode 72. We recorded this episode on Thursday before Joe Biden had officially been declared president-elect. Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Just making sure it's recording.
Okay. Hi, I'm Katie, the founder and editor of Celebrity.com, and I write as Celebrity.
And I'm Chandra. I'm the head writer for Celebrity, and I write as Kaiser. I had a nice nap on Wednesday. That was good.
Yeah, you earned that, and you were working hard. Thank you for that. I felt bad, but I have to withdraw when I'm super stressed, and I know you stayed up most of the night, and I was like, I'm going to bed, and I felt like I really let you down. I was like, sorry, I can't.
No, I mean, I understand, like, that you needed sleep or whatever, but I was like, boing, I was up at 2:30 Wednesday morning, and I was like, all right, let's see what's going on. And I turned on the TV right after Trump had made his fucking I claim Michigan, I claim Pennsylvania speech. And just the reaction from the anchors was enough to like freak me out. But I was also laughing because they're like, holy shit, this was bonkers. Like, that is a crazy thing to say on 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So, yeah, that was like, it got me up right away.
Yeah, I went to bed like 8:39, and then I didn't wake up till 5, which is my normal time, because I just thought, okay, I don't want to repeat 2000 again. You know, I don't want to be up all night and worried. So I just kind of went to bed, and that seemed to be the right decision for that night. But last night I woke up at 3 in the morning, which isn't bad. You know,
oh,
yeah,
really?
That's not bad. Like, I just was like, okay, I guess I'm awake now.
Well, my sleep cycle is still screwed up from daylight savings
yeah.
too. So I've been waking up, like, I'll wake up at 3:30 and look at the clock, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, that could be it too. That got me. So, what else is happening? I don't know. I was gonna tell this dumb story.
Let's just move into politics and like what's been happening.
Okay.
Because. All right, so we're recording this on Thursday afternoon, so...
At 2 o'clock Eastern time, we're recording this.
Right, so things are still up in the air, but not really. Like,
yeah.
All that's left to do is just call states, basically, because we know where Nevada is heading. We know where Arizona is heading, too. Like, I think in Arizona it could get a little bit closer, but I think Biden has won in Arizona.
Yeah,
and Fox News has already called it as well.
Yeah.
And Pennsylvania, as of this moment, they're still counting about 500,000 votes, and these are primarily absentee ballots that are in very populated cities and very pro-Biden areas. So there's every belief that Biden is going to win Pennsylvania. And so it's going to be a standoff between these 3 states and Georgia, for goodness sake.
Georgia's getting really close.
I know, it's within 12,000 votes.
It's less than half a percentage point in Georgia. So it's amazing.
Right.
But they say 98% of the vote is counted, but still, that would be awesome. And Trump, it just came in this afternoon that Trump got his lawsuits in Georgia and Michigan dismissed by the state judges there. So
right,
they had,
because there's nothing fraudulent about counting
votes.
Legal votes. It's not like he has an actual legal argument. It's not like, oh, this is in violation of some sort of law, federal or state law. It's nothing like that. He just wants to stop people from voting because his little baby feelings are hurt.
And he always tells on himself, like he's tweeting, stop the count. Like, okay. And then his supporters in some places are saying count the votes. In some places they're trying to get them to stop the vote. They're so fucking lame. They're just so lame.
And like the whole thing about his Wednesday morning 2 a.m. speech is that he didn't understand how early returns worked. Like, he's that fucking stupid. he didn't understand that only 20% of the vote was in on some of these states. And he said, we just need to stop it right there because I'm winning.
He really is very basic. He has a basic understanding of how things work, and so do his followers.
But I don't know. As soon as I saw the vote count in Arizona on Wednesday morning, I just started laughing. And I really haven't stopped laughing since. All of this stuff about how stupid Trump is and how disorganized his people are, it's making me laugh. A lot of chickens are coming home to roost for these fucking Nazis.
And a lot of people are saying that a lot of old school Republicans are like, fuck this guy, I'm voting for Biden. Because he's just pissed off the base, the ones who aren't crazy.
Yeah. And there's a lot of talk about who voted for Trump this time. And we don't know. Like, the exit polls are crazy right now. And, like, all of the data experts are saying, don't look at this data right now.
Yeah.
Let's look at it a month from now when we can figure it out and really analyze who voted for Biden, where, and when. There are all these crazy numbers coming out Wednesday about like, oh, all of these white women were voting for Trump. I don't necessarily believe all of that shit. Let's just chill out for a few weeks with all of that conversation.
Yeah, I want to just have Biden president first, and then we'll deal with that shit.
Yeah, then we can figure all the other shit out.
Yeah.
And I had to stop following one of my like old friends from my organizing days because she's a big Bernie person.
Oh, God, yeah.
Those people need to fucking stop as well. All of this, well, Bernie would have done it better. No. Are you fucking joking? No. Just stop with that whole conversation.
No, he wouldn't have
right
won.
now.
The Russians were using Bernie to siphon votes.
He couldn't even win a primary.
I know.
He couldn't even,
No.
like, don't start with, Bernie would have won Pennsylvania. Oh my God.
It's terrible. Yeah, those people, the Bernie bros are bad. I told you that story I used to have on my profile, No Bernie Bros, and they would talk to me and then tell me later that they were Bernie Bros, and I'd be like, why are you wasting my time? Like, you think you're an exception? You are not. So we talked in our Zoom about this, and Zakia is in Pennsylvania, and we always ask her to give us pep talks about the election because she knows statistics. She works in finance, but we tell her she should work in politics because she knows everything about it. And she gave us a pep talk that, I won't give you spoilers. So here's that section from Zoom.
So everything that he said he was going to do, kind of he's following the playbook. And we knew that it was going to look like Trump from day voting. And it was going to change once you get the mail-in votes, which are decidedly Biden, which he knows. That's why he was setting up this game to play. I had no doubt his exit polls were worse than what we were saying. So that's where the whole Pennsylvania and the cheating, but I would be surprised if it gets far.
So Zakia,
Yep.
you think Pennsylvania's going to pull through though?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, because that's what I'm nervous about.
A lot of red, even all the red counties, we call it Pennsyltucky because once you leave Philadelphia, and you go out to like Lancaster, it's the Amish, and it's sundown towns. And, I have a friend who went to Pittsburgh that would leave Philly in the morning so they wouldn't have to drive through Pennsylvania anytime after dark, right? Well, between here and Pittsburgh, it's about 5 hours away. So you're getting a lot of the red counties that don't have a large population. They're coming in first. And Trump told all of them not to do their mail-in ballots and to go vote that day. So those are the numbers that you're seeing. And then he's like, well, I didn't get any mail-in votes because you told them not to vote. So they came and they voted that day.
Okay.
So that's what you're seeing. I don't know if you were on yet. We have about 1.2 million ballots left from Philadelphia. And it's like 4 counties that surround Philly, suburban counties. And so those are the numbers that you're going to start seeing. Pennsylvania is going to come through for him.
All right, I hope she's right.
Yeah, she is right.
I don't know. It's like, count the votes.
I've organized in Pennsylvania. Like, there are all of these pockets that are just liberal pockets. I mean, Philadelphia is obviously the biggest liberal pocket in Pennsylvania. But, Pittsburgh is going to go for Biden. Scranton is going to go for Biden in a huge way.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Williamsport, and there are going to be all of these primarily white suburban enclaves that are just going to like Biden and trust him more than they trust Trump.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't take much because Trump lies every time he opens his mouth. During our meeting, too, we got the message that Michigan was called for Biden. And I just wanted to play that because it was it felt historical just to learn when it happened. And I was crying. I saw a couple other women crying, too. So here's that section.
Was that Courtney?
It looks like they announced Biden won Michigan.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's official.
Yay! It was
Trump now has no way. He does not have a way to win. Even if with Texas, he has no way to win now. He can't get to 270. Because
who announced it, Courtney?
Wisconsin were the blue wall that were keeping him from going out west.
NBC and CNN are both doing it. So I don't know if it's through the AP yet. I just saw it online real quick. So, but hopefully, I mean, I'm kind of waiting for the AP to announce it. There's a bunch of stuff that's coming through for it, like within the last 10 minutes and stuff. So
yeah, Michigan went to Biden. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Wisconsin too.
Yeah.
I think Biden's goal, his focus throughout the campaign was to get those 3 states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, back to blue.
Yeah, he did.
I think he was very upset that they went to Trump in 2016, and they went to Trump by such slim margins.
Oh,
That was one of his biggest priorities.
he did a good job. I loved that Eminem ad. That made me cry. Where they used "You Lose
It was
Yourself."
good.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
And just like thinking about the man that Marshall Mathers is now, like what he believes in and who he stands up for. That kind of moves me as well.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'm glad he licensed the song.
No, like that was his first time licensing one of his songs to a political campaign, and he made it count.
Yeah, that's true. I hope we know in a day or two, but Nevada just announced that they're going to take even more time, which is understandable, but still get your ass in gear.
Yeah, I mean, Nevada and Pennsylvania, they're still accepting absentee ballots that are postmarked, November 3rd or before.
Yeah.
So those votes will still be coming in and they'll still be counted.
Yeah, he's been trying to cripple the post office. Yeah, and that's despicable. But hopefully we'll know, and it feels better now. It feels like we're over the hump.
We should also just talk about how amazing it is that in so many states, Biden is being saved by the black vote.
Yeah.
And it's so important. Like,
yeah.
He won Michigan because Detroit came out.
Yeah.
Because black voters and Muslim voters in Detroit and Michigan, they really came out for Biden. He will win Pennsylvania because of black voters in Philadelphia.
I was looking in your recent posts. I mean, you have so many great posts today and yesterday. Thank you so much for your coverage, because you're just churning them out. And I'm like, how does she analyze all this shit so fast? But the post that you had from the black organizer was excellent. He
was in Detroit talking about how black voters were going to deliver this for Biden.
Okay, yes.
They were going to deliver the state for Biden.
That was excellent.
And they're consistent. They've been saying all along they're going to suggest that it's rigged. They've been saying all along it's going to suggest that it's flawed or fake. But they've been saying that before now. We just need to be persistent to make sure our voice gets counted, because as goes Detroit will be done so. And I will say the black vote in Detroit is higher than it's ever been, and we will determine the outcome because we've gone from picking cotton to picking presidents.
And then the other guy.
I mean, he was just, and I think both those guys were from Detroit,
Michigan.
Actually. The one guy who went into the Trump crowd and screamed, "Black Lives Matter." And the look on those white faces.
We're putting here live, guys, downtown Detroit right now, guys. Behind me here, you have a bunch of fucking bullshit-ass Trump supporters right here, guys. I'm here for fucking Biden. Come here, look at this shit. Black people forever! I said Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
All Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives fucking matter, not Santa, guys!
The one guy was like, oh, and then they were yelling, "All lives matter," because that's all they know how to say. All they know is like little catchphrases. That's their full understanding of Trump is the catchphrases he says.
And the catchphrases don't make any sense most of the time. Because in Arizona, it's count more votes. And in Pennsylvania, it's stop counting. Shut this down. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to knowing for sure. I'm not looking forward to the next few months, but the best scenario would be Trump kind of like defeated into his shell or going off to one of his resort properties and just living there for a while.
On MSNBC last night, it was Joy Reid, Rachel Maddow, and Nicole Wallace, and I love all three of them. And they were like full on gossiping about what would happen in the transition. And like Nicole Wallace, still has so many Republican sources and Republican friends. Oh. And she was like, I'm hearing that Trump would not even participate in any of the, civil transition stuff, like inviting Biden to the White House.
Of course not. He doesn't even go to the funerals. He didn't go to HW's funeral. He won't.
No, he went to HW's funeral. He didn't go to McCain's funeral.
Oh, okay.
He went to one of the big state funerals. I think it was HW's.
All right.
Because he sat somewhat close to the Obamas, and Michelle looked like she was going to spit on something.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, he snubbed McCain. Of course he snubbed John Lewis. But yeah.
Well, I mean, no one at John Lewis's funeral wanted that fat bastard there.
Oh, of course not. Thank goodness he didn't go.
He tried to pay his respect at Ruth Bader Ginsburg lying in state.
Yeah.
And he got booed.
Yeah.
The bitch got booed. And everyone was chanting,
vote him out. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Kim Kardashian, while we were taking our break, Kim Kardashian had her 40th birthday party on a private island. Is it okay if we talk about that now?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I thought she went to the Caribbean, but she went to the island that Marlon Brando used to own, which is way out in the South Pacific. So, like, the plane ride out there was like 11 hours or something. Ridiculous. Would you fucking do that? No. I wouldn't do that for my best friend.
No. And 11 hours each way. Yeah. And then you're stuck with the same people, and because it's a small island, there's not a lot to do except hang out with them. So she spent $1 million on this party, and the best part were the memes that came out after she posted about it on social media. She wrote, after 2 weeks of multiple health screens and asking everyone to quarantine, I surprised my closest inner circle with a trip to a private island where we could pretend things were normal just for a brief moment in time. Everyone took that and cut and pasted it in front of so many funny photos.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I used Cats photos from the musical.
Oh.
And
I didn't see that.
And I did one of Jude Law from the Hot Pope show.
Oh, yeah.
The Young Pope.
With him in the Speedo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was smart. I didn't see that.
But yeah, I mean, it was just bonkers. It would have been excessive in normal times.
Yeah.
But we're in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. And for Kim to fly all these people to an island which has no cases, apparently, and to still see people in the background wearing
working
masks.
There, yes.
Yeah, working there. And like Kim was like drinking and partying and posing for photos. It was ridiculous.
It was very obnoxious and flaunting their wealth and privilege. Then Kendall, her sister, Kendall Jenner, had a birthday party at a Hollywood club. 100 people there.
Rooftop bar.
Rooftop bar.
Yeah, so it was outdoor, but she had too many people there. She was in violation of LA County and California regulations laws. She had like 100 people at her party.
Oh my God.
No one was wearing masks. She tried to blow out the candles, and like the waiter holding her cake winced.
That's what. Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that. I'll play a clip from that in a second. But yeah, she said that she gave everybody the rapid COVID tests, but those are not accurate, and you can't.
And it's just fucking stupid. Wait a little while and don't have your birthday party right now.
So many people have.
It's not a big deal.
You and I haven't even seen our parents. You know, you haven't been able to see your mom up close. You can see your social distance, but I haven't been able to visit my parents since last December. It's the longest I've gone in a long time. And it's just...
Oh, did you want to talk about Kim's cake?
Oh, yeah. Well, Kim had this kind of budget birthday cake, which was just like this tiered basic cake with a giant Barbie looking like Kim proportion Barbie.
It was just so obvious that they just did a simple, like, 2-layer cake or something, and then they just stuck a Barbie in.
They stuck a big Barbie.
I was like, oh, wow, those island people really do not like Kim, huh? You spend $1 million on this getaway, and you just get this basic as fuck cake.
That's the best cake you can get. Yeah. Yeah, somebody half-assed that cake.
But I also think that, like, the whole cake energy has gotten way overblown. Like, you shouldn't have to pay $5,000 for a stupid cake.
Well, the rich people are trying to outdo it because there's all those cake competition shows, so they can get those fancy ass cakes.
And so I think that's why people were making fun of it. It's like everyone expected Kim to have one of those $5,000 cakes, and it was just this basic Duncan Hines Barbie cake.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's something else. They've really shown their asses, literally and figuratively.
I mean, I think it's funny that Kanye had to admit that it was all just one big scam, basically, that he was running for president. Mm-hmm. But the dude got 60,000 votes.
Yeah, that's despicable.
60,000 people voted for fucking Kanye.
He's such
Are
an
you
asshole.
Joking?
No, there's people that are that dumb, and
it's not fucking funny.
No.
And those people should be pushed onto an island.
And Kim didn't say who she voted for.
No.
She Instagrammed and deleted a I voted thing. She didn't say who she voted for.
Nope. I bet you anything she did not vote for Kanye.
I hope she voted for Biden, but who knows?
Who knows?
She lives in California, too. It's always going to go to Biden. So here's a segment from Zoom with Amira and Jasmine talking about Kendall's party.
Wasn't it Kendall's birthday party? The whole video of her, like the poor waiter who's holding the cake while she's blowing on it. And I'm like, oh, she's going to blow on a cake and then they're going to serve that cake that she just blew all on.
That made me so mad. It's like people try so hard to be careful and then assholes like that go and have, like, you have a huge house. Why do you have to have a party inside at a bar? Have it outdoors in your palatial estate's backyard. Or maybe she has a condo and because she's like the one that lives alone. Have it at your mom's house. Have it at one of your sister's house. Have it anywhere outside.
I like what Jasmine said. Like, why didn't they have it at one of their giant houses? Like, they have houses that are built for parties.
They do that on their show as well. You know, they borrow each other's houses just to throw a party. And, like, they get mad at each other because, I can't believe you want to use Courtney's house for a party. That kind of shit is on the show all the time. So why didn't they just do that? They could have filmed it.
Yeah. Well, because they wanted to hide it. Like, Kendall knew she shouldn't have done it because there were all these signs like, no social media. Like, her crowd is going to follow that ever. They don't live outside social media. All right, let's move on to the story about Prince William. This was a good distraction. We needed this shit. So we heard...
Yeah, it came out Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
No, it came out Sunday night, and it was hilarious. When the news broke, it was just funny.
It was a good distraction from the election. So Prince William had COVID back in April and covered it up. But, like, there's all this question and intrigue. And the royal reporters are pissed. Like, they went in on him, and they usually cape for him. So, go ahead. You want to tell it?
Yeah, just within minutes of the news coming out, that Richard Palmer, who hates the Sussexes, like, he hates Harry and Meghan with a passion. And he was reading William for filth. He was so mad. And Robert Jobson and Tom Sykes, like, they're all just climbing up William's ass and like, how could you do this? How could you lie? And I mean, they're good questions. Like, I honestly don't understand the timeline whatsoever about when he started feeling sick, when he was tested, and when he supposedly quarantined. The timeline makes zero sense.
And they haven't really disclosed it because Prince Charles said he had COVID in late March. And William is second to the throne.
the thinking is that he owes it to disclose when he has COVID, particularly because he could have exposed other people, but also because he's second in line to the throne.
Right. And like in England, it was happening all at once. Boris Johnson was deathly ill with the coronavirus. Yeah. Prince Charles was sick. He said he felt like he had a bad cold. He had a sore throat, whatever. He quarantined in Scotland. And the big issue was that he flew to Scotland when he was sick.
Yeah, he knew it.
And meanwhile, William was still meeting with people without wearing a mask until late March. And then he and Kate allegedly go to Norfolk. They go to Anmere Hall. And they're like doing all these Zoom calls. And like no one knows. So was he sick in late March or was he sick throughout April? Well, William absolutely had a duty to disclose.
He did.
If he's going to whine about constitutional this and that with Harry and Meghan, yes, he has to disclose this shit. He doesn't have a right to privacy when it comes to a deadly virus.
No, he doesn't. And then he's policing Meghan's birth, saying she should have announced where she went and when she was in labor and exactly after she had the baby, because the baby was quite far down the line. And that's ridiculous. That doesn't hurt anybody. Him having COVID exposed people. And it's also a major public health issue. He didn't own up to it. Sorry, go ahead.
And by not releasing that information publicly and not releasing that information privately, there was no contact tracing.
Yeah. They're above that. They're just like the fucking Republicans thinking that they can do whatever they want and nobody can hold them accountable.
Right. So, like, no one knows who he exposed or who exposed him because he wouldn't tell anyone. Because, anyway. So, like, that's one part of it. There's another part of it, which is, why did this story come out right now? And why was the Sun's exclusive so oddly worded? And the Sun made it sound like William was at an event and he made an offhand comment about how he had the coronavirus 6 months ago or something.
Okay.
And like, as Tom Sykes pointed out, what was the event? Why haven't we heard anything about this event in this offhand comment?
Yeah.
And then William obviously tried to massage the story with the Sun and tried to make himself sound like a hero because he covered it up. He was like, oh, I'm so brave for keeping this a secret. I suffered in silence, and that's what a king would do.
No, that was just really crappy that he did that, and he was rightfully dragged for it. And a lot of people are saying that maybe Rose Hanbury has something to do with it, that this is to distract from a bigger story, that he got it from her or gave it to her.
I don't think any of that.
Oh, okay.
I think it's very possible that William had to give the Sun the story about coronavirus to hide a bigger story. That's one argument. I'll agree with that because the Sun's exclusive was so weird. Okay. I think that it was probably a cover-up job for something else. I don't think that it was like, oh, William got it from Rose Hanbury. That's kind of a little bit ridiculous, but...
Okay. I mean, it's possible, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously still banging her, but he probably had to tell the Sun about the coronavirus story because the Sun had a lead on, oh, William and Rose,
Something bigger.
Were banging in a pool house somewhere.
Something more damning.
Yeah.
So we talked about this in Zoom, and people loved that story. And they especially loved the one from the Daily Beast where you're like, what's going on? This is hiding something else. And this is Courtney, Jasmine, and Rhiannon.
Does anybody want to talk about Prince William's backlash? Because I'm really enjoying that. It's a nice little thing to have as we whirl around the hellscape.
Do we think he got quarantined from Rose Hanbury and just quarantined with her the whole time?
Yes.
Or COVID from Rose Hanbury and just quarantined with her?
I love the thing at the bottom of the story that said they gave this story in order to keep another story hush hush. And now I am just like, please give me all of the tea.
I don't think he lives with them. I never thought he did.
I was going to say, wasn't one of the comments in this Kaiser's story, like, it's weird. It looks like he's social distancing from Kate, like in a few of their engagements or something.
So what do you think about Jasmine saying that it looks like he's social distancing from Kate? Because remember those photos of them doing events together when they were sitting like on opposite ends of the couch and she was turning her whole body away from him? Is that how she always is? Or
no, because we were joking about that as those events were happening. Like the first time that we saw Will and Kate out, like over the summer, are they socially distancing from each other? It didn't make any sense.
Yes.
I think that they just have terrible body language with each other. They're not particularly close or warm with each other. I don't think that they're social distance from each other, though.
Remember when he tried to touch her and she's like moving away or something like that?
That was last Christmas, wasn't it?
The Mary Berry event. She was like,
yeah, he put his hand on her shoulder and she shrugged that off like a
like Melania would. No.
Yeah.
She had less of a sneer on her face than Melania would have, but they're not that warm with each other. Who knows? Sometimes they look happy when they're talking to seniors on Zoom or whatever, but that's few and far between.
Yeah, it's mostly just Kate looking adoringly at William. William never looks at her at all, or if he does, he's just kind of sneering at her.
I think that's just how his face looks, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be clear, he sneers at a lot of people.
He's got resting asshole face or whatever.
Yeah, he does. But they just don't have very good body language with each other. They don't have a lot of physical chemistry. Like Meghan and Harry, they can't keep their hands off each other. That's part of their love language. Like they like to just stay physically connected with each other.
I love how she talks about him too. She's always like, "Well, my husband does this," and da da da. Like you can tell she really looks up to him too, which is funny to me.
And he's the same way. He's always like, my wife, you know.
Yeah, they're so cute together. All right, let's move on to the user feedback. So we got an email from one of my aunt's old neighbors, and I thought it was really sweet, and I wanted to read it to you guys. So Megan sent us an email. She wrote, "I started following you a few years ago due to my neighbor mentioning you. We were some lone liberals in a red upstate New York town. Celebrity pretty much keeps me sane during this trying time. So glad your aunt pointed me to your blog. Thank you for posting and writing." So I sent her an email back telling her thank you and talking about my aunt. She's since moved away from her, but I thought that was nice. I usually don't tell anybody my blog, especially like relatives and stuff, but distant relatives.
Yeah, I don't like to tell people either just because I don't like to be drawn into those weird conversations about, well, how do you do that? I'm like, well,
yeah. How do you make money? Where do you get stories? No. Yeah. Oh, and the judgment. Sometimes I get judgment from, I'm like, I get to work from home gossiping. Don't judge me. Wish you. So Stephanie on Twitter noticed all the awesome photos you've been using for Trump and Biden because they're like side by side. And at one point when she took a screenshot, I'm going to put it in the post for this podcast, there were 3 rows where it was like Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden. Trump looked like shit in everyone, and Biden was laughing in everyone. And it was awesome.
Yeah, I don't pick front page photos according to like how I think they'll be positioned next to each other.
Yeah,
I don't do it that way.
Hard.
I just try to pick terrible photos for Trump, which isn't difficult because he is not photogenic. And he always looks like a fucking asshole. But like with Biden especially, I've tried to be highly selective with the Biden photos. I like the ones where he's smiling, his toothy grin.
He's so cute.
Yeah. There are some photos where he looks kind of vague, and I try not to use those as much.
Stephanie wrote, "You're doing some work here with these featured images, and I love it." And she said she's generally enthralled by your work, Kaiser. So I just...
Oh, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's true. You're doing great work. I love reading your stories because I want to get you to explain the news to me most of the time.
Well, I'm just, like, this whole week has been my Oscars. It's been my Super Bowl. I love writing about this kind of stuff, and thank you for, like, giving me the platform. I was like, she's not going to be bad if I publish all this stuff at 4:30 in the morning.
No, I'm like, good for you. Thank God you're working. I'm like a mess.
Well, I was so early and I was like, I have to just write about how fucking bonkers that Trump shit was.
That was good. I'm glad you did that.
And plus I was really inspired by how calm Biden has been throughout everything. And it is presidential.
Yeah, it is presidential.
He's been acting like the president-elect from the word go.
I watched his speech today, and he was just talking about unity, and we shouldn't be on opposite sides. We should all work together for the country. Yeah, that's what you say. You don't tell people to go murder somebody you don't like.
You don't whine about ballots being counted. You just like you just say,
God, it's happening. I just cried myself up. Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I feel so bad for Governor Whitmer. I really do. All right.
Governor Whitmer, like, she's awesome. I love Governor
She's so
Whitmer.
Lovely. Yeah. Oh, I used her photo for we have that slideshow that comes up in the video ads, and I used her photo next to Biden for the one about Trump whining about Michigan or something.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even put Trump's picture in there. I just used Governor Whitmer. All right, let's move on. You wanna
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Can we talk about the comments of the week?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, you want to do yours first?
My comment of the week is from that like kind of dumb story I wrote about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, voting absentee. Page 6 had a tip that she voted absentee. And then someone somewhere said she has no plans to stop her activism. And I just sort of spun it out. I was like, well, Kamala Harris is going to leave the Senate seat. She's going to be vice president now. And Governor Newsom is going to have to appoint someone to that Senate seat. So why not Senator Sussex? And Snuffle says, now you've done it. You gave the British tabloids another fake angle to play. Senator Markle. She won't be Senator Markle. She'll be Senator Sussex.
She would be 10 times better than any of the Republicans. Yeah. So you listen to her speak. She's already like informed. She sounds like a politician and not a fake one, somebody who actually cares. Right. I know she's not going to do that, but she would be excellent at it.
Can you imagine if Governor Newsom did come out and say, like, well, all right, here's Kamala's replacement, guys.
People would love her, especially in California. They'd love her. I mean, she's from there.
Yeah.
So my comment of the week is on Hecate's post about Alton Brown tweeting a bunch of weird food combinations, like in all caps mostly, just stuff he's going to eat to cope with election stress. It was like marshmallow fluff, grape nuts with half and half, and scotch, and canned frosting. I mean, canned frosting, I can't buy frosting. I'll just eat it the whole thing. I know you're not as much of a sugar fiend as me, but I definitely cannot buy frosting.
I like frosting. I just need cake to balance it out. I can't just eat frosting.
We got a carrot cake last night at Kroger. My son ate most of it because that's his favorite, but I had a bunch of it. So my comment of the week is from Lemons, and she wrote, I feel like Hecate included a thirst trap photo of Alton before letting us all down with a follow-up photo that he's a taken man. I'm like, Alton doesn't really do it for me, but...
He doesn't do it for me either. And I'm someone who, like, actually considers those Food Network people, like, real, genuine celebrities. I love them all.
Yeah.
Like, they're super famous to me. But yeah, Alton Brown doesn't do it for me. I would bang the hell out of Tyler. What's his name?
I don't know, Tyler.
Now I have to look it up.
Tyler Florence?
Yeah, Tyler Florence. Oh my God.
I had to Google him. Oh, I see him. He's not really my thing. I see why you would like him. He's your type. He's all right. Well, he's closer to my age than your age because you're younger than me. But he's 49.
I would hit that.
Yeah, he's not bad. He looks like a Republican, though. Like,
he's not, though. He's kind of like California cool.
Oh, okay, nice. He's got Republican face. It's basically generic white man, you know. All right. Let's hope by the time this comes out, we have answers that are pretty definitive.
Yeah, we will. We will.
you always know stuff ahead of time, so I'm hoping. You do. You always like know way ahead of other people, and I'm like, okay, she's right. But
well, Wednesday morning I was like, oh yeah, okay, Wisconsin flipped, Michigan flipped. He's ahead, Biden's ahead in Arizona and Nevada. I did the math in my head. I was like, oh shit, that's 270.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, hopefully we'll know a couple more states by then, and everybody will be breathing a sigh of relief. All right, thanks for listening, bitches. Fuck the police
bitches.
And fuck Republicans. But don't fuck
Republicans.
Them, really. Just don't fuck Republicans. Just forget it. I don't know how to say that.
Don't fuck Republicans. Republicans can go to hell and defund the police.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye, bitches.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Celebrity Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you like us, please turn off your ad blocker when you visit our site. You can text us or leave a voicemail at 434-218-3219. Our music is from AA Alto, Maiden, and via Premium Beat and Sound of Picture. Thanks again.